last third paragraph. A man will attain a high rank.
He said, a man will attain a high rank and honorable place in the next world by dint of his good conduct, even if his works are few. He said to Umar, O Umar, by him in whose hand is my life, Shaitan does not tread the path which you tread. He said, bad conduct is a sin which has no pardon, and bad ideas are a fault which spreads. He said, a man reaches the lowest stage of hell for his bad conduct. Traditions from companions and early Muslims. The son of Luqman asked his father, O father, which fine qualities in a man's conduct are good? Luqman said, religion, treatment, shame, good conduct and generosity. When these 5 qualities are united in a person, he becomes pure, God-fearing, a friend of Allah and freed from shaitan. Al-Junayd said, 4 virtues raise a man to the highest rank, even who should his works and knowledge be little: patience, modesty, generosity and good conduct. Good conduct completes faith. Iḥyā ibn Mu'adh said, bad conduct is the worst evil. Even if a person had many virtues alongside it, they would not do him any benefit. Good conduct, on the other hand, is a good attribute. Even if a person had many sins alongside it, they would not do him any harm. Ibn Abbas was asked, what is honor? And he replied, Allah explains it in the Quran, surely the most honorable of you with Allah is the one among you who is most careful of his duties. It is said every building has a foundation, and the foundation of Islam is good conduct.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala nuril mubin Sayyidina wa maulana Muhammad wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-'aliyyil 'azim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal 'alimul hakim. Ilahi anta maqsudi wa ridaka matlubi atini mahabbataka wa ma'rifatak. Continuation from the topic of merits of good conduct. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, innal 'abda la yablughu bi husnil khuluqihi 'azima darajat al-akhirah. A man will attain a very high rank and honorable place in akhirat by his good conduct. By his good conduct, masyaAllah. Even wa innahu la dha'if fil ibadah, even his ibadah is weak. It means ibadah weak means he fulfill the 5 prayers a day. Qabliyah, ba'diyah, witir, duha, but minimum 2 rakaat, 4 rakaat, 3 rakaat. Every day recite Quran a little bit, zikir little bit, salawat on Nabi SAW a little bit. That is called weak in ibadah. If we are unable to fulfill that also, I mean we are weakest in ibadah. If you are unable to fulfill 5 times a day salat, you are unable to do the simple qabliyah ba'diyah, then we are very weak, weakest of all. But know that good conduct is the reason when a man will attain a high rank, honorable place in Jannah. In Jannah. So Islam is not only about salat, not about fasting, but what is the outcome of salat and fasting? What is the impact of salat and fasting to you from that ibadah, and how it impact other people? That is more important. That is the most important. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, treat people as how you want to be treated. So treat people with the best of conduct. As how you want to be treated, treat people. That's how it is. So that's the first thing. So it's a big hadith, big advice. You want to reach an honorable place in the eyes of Allah, highest rank in Jannah, have good conduct. Even you are weak in ibadah, but weak in ibadah, fulfill the fardu already. And also some of the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then the next one, he said to Umar radiallahu an, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Umar, Ya Umar, by him in whose hand in my life shaitan does not tread a path we should tread. Because of his good conduct also. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam radiallahu an. Two reasons why shaitan was fearful of Umar. One is because of his yaqeen, certainty to Allah. Number two is his conduct. When you talk about good conduct, it's not about being nice to people. Good conduct also is our conduct to Allah also. If we keep our prayers properly, that means we have good conduct to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, you are working, you have to report by this time, clock in. You have to punch card, punch out. How many hours? If you are disciplined in that, that is considered as good conduct. If you finish your work, that is considered good conduct. If you go to school, you finish your homework or your project on time, good conduct. That is also good conduct also. So the same thing, we as a servant of Allah, when we fulfill His obligation, that is good conduct. When there's sinful acts and we refrain from it, there is good conduct also. Good conduct between us and Allah. So we must have good conduct also. Like Ramadan, we must have good conduct. Why must we fast from food and drinks? Because you can eat and drink behind people and people doesn't know. People will think that you are fasting. Am I right? I go back home, I eat, I order Grab food. Anyone know? Nobody know. Nobody knows about it. But our good conduct to Allah Azza wa Jal refrain us from eating and drinking during the daytime. That is called good conduct. So a person refrain from eating and drinking and desire during the day of Ramadan. MashaAllah, that is akhlaq, also conduct to Allah Azza wa Jal. But that is not enough. That is not enough. You must refrain also your limbs from other than Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Well, that is the thing. Shaitan does not tread a path we should tread. So shaitan fears those who have akhlaq. Why? Why shaitan is scared of those who have good conduct? Because shaitan doesn't have a good conduct. Shaitan likes to fight enmity towards one another. So a person who does opposite what shaitan wants, shaitan will run away. Shaitan is unable to get near him. Then number 3, the next one. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم سوء الخلق ذنب لا يغفر وسوء الظن خطيئة نتوج. Bad conduct, bad akhlaq is a sinful act which has no pardon. Making zalim to other people, Ya Allah. You know, some people, they are good, they are nice. Because of other people, they are destroyed. They are being damaged because of some people. That is called zalim. Zalim like that. So bad conduct is a sin which has no pardon. That's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always pardon us. Allah send mercy to us. Allah give ni'mat to us. Even though we are a lot of mistakes, sinful acts, we shouldn't punish people by their faults. Some people, they don't do any fault also. Other people are making zalim to them. Kesian. Know that is called bad conduct. No forgiveness now. Why? Because you have to seek forgiveness from the person. If the person doesn't forgive you, then goodbye. You can't do anything about it. You need to get forgiveness from the person himself. So never ever make zalim towards anyone. Ramadan time is a time of mercy, times of helping one another. Take care of our tongue from cursing people, talking bad about people. The scholar, they say the tongue is sharper than a knife. If the knife, it cuts you, you bleed, you put antiseptic cream or what, few days bandage, okay. But the heart, if you cut the heart of other people with your words, sometimes it takes a lifetime also to heal, and it doesn't heal. So be careful of that. That is called a person who likes to hurt others with their words. That is bad conduct. That is not good conduct. So bad conduct is a sin. And bad ideas are a fault which spreads. Bad ideas mean bad opinions, su'uzon, are a fault, satu kesalahan which spreads. True. You see nowadays fitnah. When one fitnah happens from one person, it spreads everywhere. Because of one tongue. One person talk bad about another person, whisper, then the person whisper to another. Because shaitan, shaitan like to whisper. Everyone now has bad ideas, bad conduct, or bad opinion to a person. So be careful of that also. Husnul dhan, have good opinion to Allah, good opinion to the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, innal abda la yablughu min su'i khuluqihi asfala darakil jahannam. A man reaches the lowest stage of hell for his bad conduct. That means the lower the hell is, the more the azab is. The more the azab. Even in the hell, there is called a tree of zakum. The trees are made of, the fruits are made of duri. Made of what is duri? Thorns. And they will be forced to eat it. And swallow it. You just imagine you swallow durian, not the inside and the outside. You kill the person, am I right? You will kill the person. Before it reaches to the throat already, you cannot swallow it. But it will be forced to swallow. So a man reaches the lower stage of hell for his bad conduct. Traditions from companions and early Muslim. وَقَالَ ibn Luqman al-Hakim li-abihi, the son of Luqman asked his father, Ya abati, O my beloved father, ayyul khisal min al-insani khayrun, which are the, O father, which fine qualities in a man's conduct are good? Then Luqman said, al-Dīn, religion. Good conduct is religion. وَقَالَ فَإِذَا كَانَتِ الْإِثْنَتَيْنِ, what if there's two? What are the two fine qualities in a man's conduct are good? Then Luqman al-Hakim said, al-Dīn wal-mal, religion and wealth. When the wealth is spent in the way of Allah, good conduct, am I right? No. Qala fa idza kanat thalathan, what if there's three fine qualities? Ad-Dīn wal mal wal haya, the religion, the wealth, and shame, malu, modesty. Modesty, shame, not modesty and shame, malu. Al-haya min al-iman, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, shame is from iman. For example, if you have a shame, you are shy, to do a sinful act. If you are ashamed, you cannot go out with someone who is not your mahram. If you are ashamed, you don't go out with your girlfriend, that's it, or boyfriend, cannot go out. If you are ashamed, you not contact, look non-mahram with, shahwat and so on. That's shame. That's called malu, shame. If you are shame also, for example, a lady, for example, she likes someone, or she hold herself, doesn't want to tell, scared, shame. That's called shame. That is from religion. A man who has shame also take care of himself, doesn't hold someone's hand, not their mahram. A man who has shame will lower their gaze. This is called a man who has shame. A man who has shame to Allah Azza wa Jal, when he is all alone, he will take care of his eyes. When he's all alone, take care of his private parts. Shame. Even though nobody looks at him, but he knows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will look at him. Allah is watching us. That is the third quality. Of three fine qualities: Ad-Dīn, religion, Al-Mal, wealth, al-Iḥyā, 3. فإذا كانت الأربعة الدين والمال والحياء وحسن الخلق. Then the son asked, yeah, oh my father, what if there's 4? So the father said, Luqman al-Hakim said, religion, wealth, shame, and good conduct. Good conduct. A person who has good conduct, Allah purify him from arrogance. So it is sunnah when you meet someone, you give salam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It shows, it's a sign of apa? Modesty. Sign of modesty. Sign of tawadhu. Because a takabur person will not give salam. Takabur person will not give salam. That's why the young, when they see the older, they will give salam first. Not the old give salam to the young. The young give salam to the old. Respect. That is number 4. So good conduct. Number 4, akhlaq, good akhlaq. Then فَإِذَا كَانَتِ خَمْسًا, if there's 5, then Luqman al-Hakim said religion, wealth, shame, good conduct, and sakha. Sakha means generous. That's why Habib Ali said, Ya Rabbi salli ala Muhammad man bis sakha wal wafata khallaq. Man bis sakha. Oh Allah, give salawat and salam to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who? Man bis sakha. Who? The one who is generous. Wal wafa, and the one who fulfill. Takhallaq. He has that akhlaq. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he gives, he doesn't care. He gives everything sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No one is more generous than the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi Allah Yusuf alaihi salam, during the 7 years of harvest and 7 years of drought, during the 7 years of drought, remember the story? People start to come to him and ask for food, ask for, sustenance. He would fill up the whole camel, where people go back and have enough sustenance that they can sustain for 1 year, to the extent. For himself and the king of Mesir, they only eat once a day. They only eat once a day, in the afternoon, so that it can last them for 1 day. In 24 hours, they only eat 1 day. But when anyone comes to them, they will provide food, fill up the camels. When the brothers came, fill it up. He filled it up, fill it up with loads of food. Then after Nabi Yusuf, because he wanted to meet Benjamin, the brother, younger brother, so he asked to bring him, so that the second time also they can fill up for them, because he loved his brothers, even though the brothers had made zalim to him. Alayhi salatu wasalam. So after he got hold of Benjamin. Then after that, he asked them to come again with the father, Nabi Allah Yaqub alayhi salam. Where Nabi Allah Yusuf met Nabi Yaqub alayhi salam at the border of Egypt, Mesir. When he heard Nabi Yaqub came, he went out, left the palace, and go and welcome him. Doesn't let the father come in like that. Alayhi salatu wasalam. This is called generosity. When we are generous, Allah is the most generous. When we are kind, Allah is most kind. When we do good, Allah will give us goodness. That's how it is. When we treat people well, Allah will treat us well. Hal jaza'ul ihsan illa ihsan. Isn't that the reward of ihsan? It is apa? It is ihsan. The reward of ihsan, it is ihsan. That's the thing. So don't zalim people, don't look down upon people. Even though in dunya no one will zalim you back, or for example, or will not look you down, will not look down on you, then know that akhirat is the best court. That is about Allah's court. وَإِذَا كَانَتِ خَمْسًا وَإِذَا كَانَتِ سِتًّا. Now, if there's 6, Luqman al-Hakim sons asked, if there's 6, then he said, Ya Bunayya. The son keep on, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. Until apa? Until 100 pun tak habis. Why if there's number 6? Then he said, Ya Bunayya, oh my beloved son. فَإِذَا اجْتَمَعَتْ فِيهِ الْخَمْسُ الْخِصَالِ. If all these 5 a person has possessed, all these 5, فَهُوَ تَقِيٌّ, he is a man of taqwa. نَقِيٌّ, a man of pure heart. وَلِيٌّ لِلَّهِ, he is a wali Allah. وَمِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ بَرِيءٌ, and he will be freed from shaitan. He will be freed from shaitan. These are the 5 things. Faham tu? What are the 5 things lagi? Ada 5 things. Number 1 al-Dīn, religion. That means a man who has religion. Islam. Inna dina indallahi al-Islam. Verily the religion that is accepted by Allah is only Islam. Number 1. Number 2, mal, wealth, spend the way of Allah. Number 3, Iḥyā. Number 4, husnul khuluq. Number 5, as-sakha, generosity. Generous. What is the benefit? He is taqiyun, taqwa. He is taqwa. Naqiyun, pure heart. He is waliullah, and he is someone that shaitan will run away from him. I mean, he is freed from shaitan. وقال الحسن رضي الله عنه من ساء خلقه عذب نفسه. Anyone whose akhlaq is bad, he is punishing himself. He is punishing himself. If you have good akhlaq, you will be happy in this dunya and akhirat. If you have bad akhlaq, you are punishing yourself. You have arrogance, you are punishing yourself. You talk bad about people, you are punishing yourself. Am I right? You go and look at things that is haram, you are punishing yourself. Why do we want to punish ourselves? We are like slapping ourselves, we are beating ourselves. Why? Haram, right? A man who has good akhlaq, he will be happy, sa'adah, love, happiness in this dunya and akhirat. Bad akhlaq. Look at people who have bad akhlaq. They are always in sadness. They are always in problems and so on and so forth. But that doesn't mean that a person who has good akhlaq that doesn't have problem. No, sometimes Allah tests people who have good akhlaq also. With a test that a person who has bad akhlaq will not get that test. Because if they get that test, na'udzubillah, they might do kufur to Allah. They might start to disbelieve in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La yukallifu Allahu nafsan illa wus'aha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not test a person to the extent, not test a person except what he can carry it. Not more than that. Ashaddu bala alal anbiya, the worst bala is upon the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Adzaba nafsah, dia mengazabkan diri dia. And with bad akhlaq, azabkan diri dia. So be careful of our akhlaq. Our akhlaq, it depends on the state of our heart. Pure, the more pure our heart is, the better akhlaq it is. For example, if I am good to those who are good, if someone does goodness to me, I give double goodness to him. MashaAllah, there's good akhlaq. Some people, they can only give same goodness. Whatever you give me, I give it to you same. But some people give double or triple. MashaAllah, that is good. That is the level of mu'min. But the level of siddiqeen, the level of the truthful servants of Allah, anyone who even throw at them najis, they will still have good conduct towards these people. They forgive them, and they will not ask Allah to azab them. They put their affairs to Allah. Oh, that is the best of akhlaq. That is another level. Not easy. Because every person has his own haq, has his own rights. I want to forgive or doesn't want to forgive, up to me. Because sometimes the suffering that a person is holding, is carrying, is too much for the person to carry also. Each person has their own capacity. Am I right? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Sayyidina Hamza was killed, Rasulullah cannot even look at the face of Wahshi. Cannot look. The Prophet cannot look at him. Because to the Prophet it is really zalim for him to kill, like Hindun binti Utbah and Wahshi. The Prophet cannot do it. When he came to the Prophet ﷺ accepted him because he wanted to say Shahada. But Nabi ﷺ said, go away. I cannot look at you. Because you remind me of apa? Hamzah. You kill Hamzah. When you kill Hamzah, you want to sit down with me and talk to me like other Sahaba? Difficult. Rasulullah cannot accept it. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because they cut open Sayyidina Hamzah's chest. Hindun took the heart out and crunched it. Na'uzubillah. This was the level of envy, hatred. Na'uzubillah. You see, level of hatred towards a person can go to the most lowest. But because of the mercy of the Prophet ﷺ, just imagine the killer of Hamzah embraced Islam. You see how merciful Allah is. How merciful. That's how the mercy of Allah, that Allah put it in the heart of Nabi Muhammad ﷺ. Even a killer also, they make tawbah and they will enter Jannah. Tawbah of course, and say the Shahada. Hindun also was shocked when her husband Abu Sufyan embraced Islam. Abu Sufyan told her, tomorrow Muhammad is going to give bay'ah to the ladies. Go, he said to the wife. Go. Both husband and wife are very, very hard-hearted. Abu Sufyan. Hindun was saying, what happened just now? He said, Muhammad freed us. He doesn't want to seek revenge. He was, after, in spite of I killed his uncle, he wants to meet me. Because he knows that nobody in the world would do that. How can we as a human, we want to meet the killer of our uncle, the most beloved uncle? Because Nabi SAW said he is Asadullah, he is the lion of Allah. Not saying Hamzah radiallahu anhu. The Prophet accepted, Hindun and so on. Even Nabi SAW made dua for Washi. Ya Allah, as how he had killed the best of men, let him kill the worst of men. Then he killed Musaylama al-Kadhab, the one who admitted that he's a prophet. After Nabi Muhammad SAW, he admitted. Washi killed him. After Washi killed him, Washi feel free now. That means he has fulfilled it. But from where? From the dua of Nabi Muhammad SAW. If Rasulullah say, Washi, you will be perished, you will be destroyed, he will be destroyed. He will enter Jahannam. There's no doubt about it. You have killed Hamzah. What's there to talk about? Go to Jahannam, you. Nobody is going to forgive you. Allah is not going to forgive you. Kill Hamzah. But that was not the case of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But that kind of mercy, who can carry it? I don't think we can carry it. Am I right? We cannot carry it. It's heavy. Upon Rasulullah, it's heavy, mashallah. So therefore, there are, this kind of people, there are times whereby we need to understand people. For example, they say that, they have been zalim, they have been this and this. Sometimes, na'udzubillah, may Allah protect us, sometimes at home being abusive and so on. Sometimes they want to forgive their own mother and father, they have difficulties because it's not easy. When a kid has been physically abused, emotionally abused, since they are young, until they grow up. And after that, we talk about being good to parents, must this, must that. We have to understand the situation that they are in also. They have been broken because of that. They have been damaged because of that. We can't just simply say, maafkan je. Not that easy. Because from young they have been beaten up, from young they have been traumatized. Kasihan. So the one that is zalim is the parent sometimes. Or sometimes people keep saying, syarahan, hormat mak bapa, syurga bawah telapak kaki ibu. Naam, we admit that. We admit that, of course. Sadaqa Rasul SAW, Nabi SAW has spoken the truth. But not all cases are like that. Not all cases are like that. Allah is all knowing. Allah is all watching, am I right? You are the one who caused your daughter or son to be like that. La ilaha illallah, may Allah save us from this. May Allah save us. For example, you ignore your children from young, you don't give him any education, religious education, you don't teach them adab and akhlaq. How do you want to expect them to be kind to you? How do you expect them to respect you? No, you cannot expect that. This is not magic, This is not magic. No. You bring them out from your life when they are young. They will bring you out from their life when you are old. From they are young, you take care of them, concern about them, hug them, kiss them. Take concern about their religious duties, classes and so on. Teach them akhlaq and adab, and you will see the fruits when they grow up. When they grow up, you see the fruits. That is how it is. Subhanallah, may Allah save us from this. So therefore you see, azab, a person who doesn't have good akhlaq, it is azab upon the person. Like for example, sometimes parents say, it is so difficult for me to talk to my children. So difficult. I cannot talk to them. I talk one, they will answer 10. Not easy, true. But there's one thing that you can do, dua. Dua of the parent will be accepted by Allah. Ramadan, the time for us to make apa? To make dua to Allah. They're bringing our family back together, not fighting with one another, have mercy upon one another. Ramadan is about good akhlaq also. It's about good akhlaq. InsyaAllah, may this Ramadan be the best of Ramadan for all of us. Abstain from all prohibitions of Allah. Abstain from your TV. Go and close your TV. Except for like classes or what you want to watch live, tafaddal. Other than that, close your TV. Don't waste our time. Sayang, rugi, you know. We have been playing for 11 months. Why are we playing in Ramadan also? There's no time to play. There's no time really. Our time is running up. We are losing time. We are now walking, you know, there's our grave in front of us. We are walking there now. But the distance between us and our grave, we do not know. Maybe 10 meters, 1 meter, maybe another 1 kilometer. But the fact is, every day we are walking to our grave. Am I right? We are walking. Maybe another week, another month, another year. All are walking without realizing it. So, just imagine, now my life, I'm walking to death now. Will you be careful now? Careful, am I? Will be careful. I'll be careful. Because why? It's moving. It's moving. Our life is moving. There's never ever 1 second so in our life it stops. So, every second, move. Look at the time now. Subhanallah, how fast it is. Now it's end Sha'ban, Ramadan. Look, later you will see Ramadan will just pass just like that, 1 whole month. What are we bringing back? That's why if our ibadah is weak, have good akhlaq, good conduct, that is the best thing. But of course, ibadah, the objective of ibadah is to beautify our character. That is the most important thing. So a man reaches the where is it there? Man sa'a khuluqu 'adzaba nafsahu. Qala Anas bin Malik radhiyallahu an, innal 'abda la yablugha bi husni khuluqihi a'la darajatin fil jannah wa huwa ghairu 'abid. Sayyidina Anas bin Malik said that verily the servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has good akhlaq will reach to the highest of paradise in Jannah, and he is not an 'abid. He is not a person who worship Allah that much. He's just normal in worship Allah. That's what we mentioned just now in the first part of the class. وَيَبْلُغُ بِسُوءِ خُلُقِهِ أَسْفَلَ دَرَكْ فِي جَهَنَّمْ. And the one who has bad akhlaq will go to the lowest of Jahannam. وَهُوَ عَابِد. But he was someone who prays a lot, who read the Quran a lot. There are some people, they make sujood until there's a mark here. Read the Quran day and night, but no akhlaq. Go back home, go and slap the wife, beat the children, shouting here and there, in front of people like angel, behind people shayateen, like shaitan. In front of people talk nicely, behind people buat maksiat. La ilaha illallah. In front of people, oh mashallah, alim mashallah, like malaikat. Behind people look at things as maksiat. There's bad akhlaq, they call it. No adab to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will go to the lowest of Jahannam. Na'udzubillah. Wa huwa abid. And yet he is someone who worship Allah Azza wa Jal. It's like irony, opposite. Because why? They are worshipping Allah with not the sincerest intention. It must be the most sincerest intention. Ikhlas. Ikhlas lillahi ta'ala. When you are ikhlas in your doing your ibadah, even though a little of ibadah will stop you from ma'asiyat to Allah. Inna salata tanha 'anil fahsya'i wal munkar. Verily salat will stop you from fahsya wal munkar. Stop you from doing maksiat. Fahsya is like zina, liwat, fahsya. Wal munkar, and anything that is forbidden by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La ilaha illallah. وقال يحيى بن معاذ الجنيز 4 virtues. وقال معاذ في سعة الأخلاق كنور الأرزاق في سعة الأخلاق كنوز الأرزاق. When you have a good akhlaq, it is the treasures of rizki. A good akhlaq is the treasures of rizki. That means you have a lot of treasures inside. Treasures of sustenance in akhirat. It means that in akhirat. A person who has good akhlaq, it attracts people, of course. It attracts people to you. A person who has bad akhlaq, it brings people away. Last time when we are learning religion, long time ago, sometimes our teachers are very, very strict. Am I right? Very, very strict. You don't get something done, they will cane you. But nowadays, no more like that. True or not? No more like that. You must show the best of akhlaq. Even though sometimes show the best of akhlaq, so people doesn't want. Then what else? Nothing else. Because Islam is spread through the best of akhlaq, not through sword. Am I right? That is how Islam is being spread. وقال وهاب بن منبه مثل السيء الخلق كمثل الفجار المذكورة. A person who has bad akhlaq, it is like a person who is intoxicated, doesn't know what he's doing, his amal will not be accepted. All amal not be accepted. He pray 5 times a day, but doesn't have akhlaq, not accepted. Your amal will not be accepted. La ilaha illallah. Wala tu'adu tin. That means your amal also, it doesn't weigh as soil also. That means very light, nothing. You all will be scattered away, not be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa Sayyidina Fudail bin Iyad radiallahu anhu said that I am a friend, that I become friends with a person that make ma'asiyat but at the same time has good akhlaq is better than me making friends, beloved to me, than making friends with a person who prays a lot but bad akhlaq. La ilaha illallah. Not make ma'asiyat means for example that make ma'asiyat also bad akhlaq, but for example like he doesn't pray, for example, that is also a sinful act of God, but he is good akhlaq. He has good akhlaq, doesn't know how to treat people. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes when we go out, those who are non-Muslim, they are better than the Muslims. Sorry to say this, their akhlaq. There was a time whereby we want to enter. Sometimes we want to enter a country, or we need to have the card before we enter. So the person thought that he might find a place to buy a new card, but there was no new card. So the person said, you go and find it on your own. So you cannot chop the passport on your own. So he left the car and was looking. He wants to pay cash, just borrow borrow the card and let go and give the person cash. And everybody was ignoring, was just like in the car and ignore. Until one old lady, I think from Europe or America, she was the one who wind down the screen and give the card. And when he wants to pay, he said, no need, just give it back to me, that's all. So he was looking around, all the cars there, all are Muslims. Everyone wants to think about themselves, when to get into that country the fastest. Where's the akhlaq? Sometimes we see people in trouble, we just ignore. We do not, because why? We think that we are already in trouble, we do not want to find any more trouble. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Or for example, the one who has bad akhlaq is the one who thinks that or the one who is in problem, they will say, I also have problem, why must I help you? I need to solve my own problem. Bad akhlaq, they call it. So bad akhlaq. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam always put other people first before himself. Other people first before himself. Even though in there was a time when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam received a bunch of grapes from someone, a very poor man, very poor man. He gave to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Usually the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with his Sahaba, they will sit like this, halaqah. That's why we tell you always sit in halaqah, barakah. Then the Prophet, when he ate the grape, usually the Sahaba will wait, the Prophet will pass the right and everyone will get the blessing. But that time the Prophet ﷺ keep on continuing eating the grapes until it finishes. The poor man saw, and he was so happy that I gave Prophet Muhammad ﷺ a bunch of grapes and he finished it. La ilaha illallah. But the Sahaba was wondering why the Prophet ﷺ did not share. And then one of them asked, Ya Rasulullah, it is usually your custom that you will share with us. Then after the man left, the Prophet ﷺ said, no, the grapes are all sour grapes. I do not want to pass to you, or later you will make face. It will break the heart of the man. It will break the heart of the man. So I ate them. I ate everything to make him happy. But the taste was sour. The Prophet that was a good akhlaq. There was this person who used to clean the mosque of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One day Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked, where is this person? It's a female. Where is this person? Who used to sapu, clean the mosque. Because the mosque of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sand. There was no carpet at that time. Then one of them said that he had passed away, Ya Rasulullah. Then Nabi said, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you inform me? Because the intention of the Sahaba, they did not want to burden Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi was busy, Nabi is very busy. To attend a funeral of a sweeper, not important for them. What did the Prophet did? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, show me to the grave. Then Rasulullah walked. The Sahaba show where is the grave, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam immediately prayed for her there. 4 takbiratul ihram at the grave. At the grave of the person who passed away. You see the akhlaq of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. To that extent, mashallah. The person who died already in the grave will be happy the Prophet came and visited her and get the prayers directly, which is definitely she will earn the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because the one who prayed for her is Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is good akhlaq. So good akhlaq, mashallah. Good akhlaq also makes your day. When someone has good akhlaq, it makes your day. This is human, human. When you have good akhlaq towards people, people look at us, people will love us. Human beings like that. But sometimes because of one person bad akhlaq, it spoils your whole day. True. Especially the worst is in the early morning. When you get scolded, Allah. That's why parents, when you want to send your child to school morning, don't scold them. Don't make their life unhappy. They want to go out to school, you scold them. Allah Akbar. Sometimes our children are very small, 7, 8 years old, 9 years old. They want to go out to school. They are so young. And they have to go to school that early. Don't scold them. You scold them, it will make worse. They will not want to study. They don't like. Be patient a bit. Be patient. Give good energy, good vibes to people. Even though maybe you are sad, but give good vibes to people, good energy to people. Be a person whereby when people meet you, people are happy, not the other way around. Just imagine every time you meet the person, he sad, you also be sad. You don't have depression because you sit with the person, you become depressed. La ilaha illallah. Then the person will run away from you. The person, except if the person that is with you is your beloved. If your beloved, no, you will not leave the person, of course. You will not leave the person. Because mahabbah, when you love a person, there will be sabr, right? There will be patience. You are able to be patient when you have love. Like our child, if they are sick, we will be patient. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, if you have to send them to KK, you will go. You are not going to wait the next morning. You're not going to say, never mind, next morning I want to sleep, Why do you do that? Mahabbah, love. Not a burden. Not a burden. Only the parents who are full only see that it's a burden. Alamak, leceh lah my child. But mahabbah, you do it willingly. Sah. Kulli hal. Naam. Okay, we continue a bit more. وقال وصاحب ابن مبارك رجل سيء الخلق في السفر فكان يحتمل منه فلما رأوا بكى قال بكيت رحمة الله وركته. Ibn Mubarak, one day he was traveling with one person, and then Ibn Mubarak, a big wali bin awliya illah, he was traveling with one person, and this person has very bad akhlaq. When he look at him, bad akhlaq. Because when you travel or when you are with people, you will know every person has their own character, has their own attitude. So when they were separated, Ibn Mubarak cried. Abdullah bin Mubarak, he cried. Then after that, one person asked him, Ya Ibn Mubarak, why do you cry? I am crying for him because I have rahmah, mercy on him. Because why? We are separated. Now I am not with him, we are separated, but his bad akhlaq is not separated yet from him. That's why I am crying for him. Allah. Because there is character, inside you. Some people have that character inside. You have to bring it out. That's why we are learning later what are the good akhlaq, what are the bad akhlaq, how do we avoid bad akhlaq, how do we instill good akhlaq in us. All this will be discussed in the book Iḥyā al-Ulūm. That's why you want to learn Iḥyā al-Ulūm, must be patient. Learn religion must be patient. It's not overnight then we can turn to a new leaf, we can be good. Need patience one by one. Then Al-Junayd said 4 virtues raise a man to the highest rank, even though his amal and his knowledge little. Number 1, al-hilm, forbearance. Forbearance means above patience. That is forbearance. There was this man, he was so patient with the wife. Every day the wife macam-macam problem. Neck lah, itulah, inilah. Every day, la ilaha illallah, without fail. But he is salih. He decided, I will leave her. I cannot tahan already, This is my limit. I'm going to leave her. So he left her. He left her while she was still nagging. So he went to the cave. He wants to practice khalwa, to be alone in solitude. And then he met another 2 men over there. But these 2 men doesn't run away from the wife. So the three of them sat. Then he said to these 2 men, where do you get your rizki from? He saw these 2 men they have rizki, makan. Where do you get the rizki from? We are far up on the mountain. Where do you get it? He said, every day we make dua to Allah and we make tawassul. Ya Allah, with the blessing of the man of the wali Allah who always was patient with the wife, give us sustenance. Then Allah give us sustenance. Now, then the man said, ini macam aku je. Looks like me. After that, he ma'as-salama with the 2 men. He went back to the house. He went back to the house. Because he was al-hilm, forbearance. Because forbearance increased the darajat of the person. Forbearance. Understand? If dia naik apa, senyum je. Okay. Amir, macam susah je nak senyum. Number 2, at-tawadhu. 4 qualities that will raise four virtues that raise a man to the highest rank, even though his amal and his knowledge is a little. Patience, forbearance. Number 2, tawadhu, modesty, humble. Humble is not to show people that you are humble. Humble is you really feel that you are nothing in front of Allah. You really feel that everyone is better than you. That is called humble. But not to the extent that you hina yourself, you put yourself down. No, not like that. Humble yourself. Inside you know that my amal is little bit, my iman is not as strong as fulan bin fulan. That is called humble. That is called humble. Not humble showing people that you are humble. That's not humble. I want people to know that I'm humble. That's not humble. That's arrogance. But humble is just inside you, that you feel that you are nothing in front of Allah. You have a lot of shortcomings, but not to the extent that you degrade yourself. Faham betul? Not the sense you degrade. No. For example, I want to wear torn clothes. No, that's not humble. That's stupidity. Go and wear the best of clothes, but yet be humble. Be in majlis, you can sit in front, but yet be humble. No. Yet be humble, you can be humble, because humility is inside our heart. Then number 3, as-sakha also. Number 3, generosity also. Raise a person to the highest darajah. And number 4, good conduct. Good conduct. Masya-Allah. Wa huwa kamalul iman, and that is the completion of iman. If a person has these 4 virtues, completion of iman. Wa qala al-katani at-tasawwuf khuluq. At-tasawwuf is akhlaq. Faman zada 'alayka fil khuluq, anyone who adds akhlaq, who has additional akhlaq, virtues in him, zada 'alayka fit tasawwuf. That means his tasawwuf also increase. When you want to talk about tasawwuf, it's about akhlaq, about adab. Tamam. Wa qala Umar radhiyallahu anhu, Sayyidina Umar said, khalitun nas bil akhlaq, mix with people with akhlaq. Mix with people with akhlaq. Then wa qala Iḥyā bin Mu'az, su'ul khuluq sayyi'a la tanfa' ma'ha kathratun hasanat. Bad conduct is the worst evil, even if a person has many virtues alongside it. Allahu Akbar. Bad conduct is the bad akhlaq is the worst evil, even if a person has many virtues alongside with it. No point. Yeah, ibadah, but no akhlaq, no point. Zero. You are zero. Understand? That's why it is important when we learn our religion, learn akhlaq, tasawwuf. Learn to be humble, learn to be generous, learn to be forbearance, learn to be patient. MashaAllah. How do we learn this? We need to have a guide to guide us. We need to put our nafs under our feet, not nafs on the head. Because if you put on your head, you will not learn. If you put your nafs under the feet of your sheikh, of your teacher, he will show you. Because you let this nafs, you let him step on the nafs, and then you walk towards him, to him, with your soul, with your heart and soul. So he guides you to the path of Allah. A lot of students, they fail because they put their nafs here. Then after that, whatever order that the sheikh tell him to do, he doesn't want to listen, doesn't want to follow, because he follow his nafs. Whereas the order from the teacher is a guide for him to be close to Allah Azza wa Jalla. As long as the order of the teacher is aligns with the Quran and Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. So if a person had many virtues alongside it, bad conduct is the worst evil. They would not do any benefit. Good conduct, on the other hand, is a good attribute. If a person had many sins alongside it, they would not do him any harm. And slowly by slowly, with good conduct, he will make tawbah to Allah. Slowly by slowly, he will wash away all the sins. With good akhlaq, for example, you have difficulty in living maksiat, we have good akhlaq. Later on, you will see Allah will wash one by one the sinful act. Until there's no leftover inside you. But if you do ibadat, but at the same time you do bad akhlaq, then you will see your ibadat get lesser and lesser and lesser, and the maksiat get more and more and more. Now you have to be careful on that. Wa qala Ibnu Abbas, wa su'ila Ibnu Abbas radhiyallahu anhuma mal karam, what is honor? Wa qala wa ma bayyana Allahu fi kitabil aziz. What is honor? It is been mentioned in the Quran, inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Allah says, surely the most honorable of you with Allah is the one among you who is most taqwa, most careful on his duty. That is the most honored one. Wa qala al-hasab, then he said, ahsanukum khuluqan wa afdalukum hasaban. The best honor and the afdal one is the one who has the best akhlaq. لِكُلِّ بُنْيَانٍ أَسَاسٍ. If you want to build a foundation, if you want to build a building, you need to have a foundation. And the foundation of your iman and taqwa, and as a Muslim, it is akhlaq. Therefore, when we are teaching our children in madrasa or in school, the foundation is akhlaq and adab first. That is the most important. Iman, of course, comes with it, but adab and akhlaq first. Because that is the most basic foundation, most important. Because building, if there's no foundation, it will not last long, definitely. But if it has a strong foundation, it will last forever and ever. And the last one, وقال ابن عطاء مرتفع من ارتفع إلا الخلق الحسن. There's nothing that is most beloved that will raise to Allah more than good akhlaq. ولم ينال أحد كماله إلا المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم. Nobody will get that perfection of the best of akhlaq except Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the most nearest of creation to Allah Azza wa Jal is the salikun, the one who walks in the way of Allah with the best of akhlaq. Sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wa sallam. Right, wallahu alam. So we'll stop here inshallah. Any question? Ada soalan? How can we deal with someone who is nice to us but backbite us? I want to be normal but everyone say I'm a fool and she's stepping on my head. Just leave your matter to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Whatever people wants to backbite about you, just leave the matter to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. That's the matter. Say, Ya Allah, I'm your servant and that person is also your servant. I leave it the matter to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Allah is the best. And may Allah guide the person who backbite me, that the person will stop backbiting me. And just leave it. And if another person comes to you and want to talk to you, to tell you that that person is backbiting you, tell him, stop, I do not want to hear whatever you want to say. It's better for us not to know. There are things better not for us not to know. People sometimes come to us, hey, you know not that person talk bad about you, you know that person. This is the problem, stop that. Stop that trend. That I want to hear what these people talk bad about me. No, stop that trend. Because what, if you do not know, that is better. Am I right? Rather than you know. Then it harms you, it hurts you, it distracts you. Especially when you want to enter Ramadan. Just imagine first Ramadan, before entering Ramadan, you heard about this story, people talk bad about you. Then how you want to go and pray your Tarawih and concentrate on Tarawih? The whole night where you're thinking about why these people do this to you, distracting yourself. So it's better, don't go in here. If a person wants to, hey, can I meet you or not? I got hot story to tell you. Not interested. Better not interested. Not important. Min husnil Islam al-mari tarkuhu ma la ya'ni. From the goodness of Islam, a person leave whatever that does not concern him. Okay, wallahu alam. So we stop here inshallah. Next week I will answer the rest of the question inshallah. Okay, we close it dengan doa. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Rabbana a'tarafna bi annana aktarafna wa annana asrafna ala laza ashrafna fatub alayna tawbatan awsil li kulla hawba wastur lana al-awrati wa amin rawati waghfir li walidina rabbi wa mauludina والإخوان وسائر خلاني وكل ذي محبة أو ديرة أو صحبة والمسلمين أجمع آمين رب فاسمع فضلا وجود من نال باكتساب منا بالمصطفى الرسول نحظى بكل سور بالمصطفى الرسول نحظى بكل سور بالمصطفى الرسول نحظى بكل سور صلى وسلم ربي عليه عند الحب وآله وصحبه عداد طش الصحب والحمد لله البادئ والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.